I guess we try to start now on time. So this is the second session for the agricultural and hybridization session. The first speaker will be from Thailand, Dr. Noppadon Kiripet from NECTEC, and his will update about his major crop mapping in Thailand. Please, Dr. Noppadon.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Morning, everyone. I'd like to present the activity that have been going on in my group and probably related to the Thai government agricultural policy for some time. Okay. Yeah. As you know, that Thailand is one of the major agricultural producer. Okay, but produce many kind of production. For example, you can see that in order, okay, from top to bottom, there's sugar cane and rice, cassava, palm oil, and maize. Okay. Since we are a major producer of this production, the government try to find a way to balance the demand and supply, okay, of each crops, so that they will not create financial problem both to the farmers and the government. Okay. In Thailand, we have something called AgriMap. Okay, the government used this primarily to do something called agricultural zoning, which means that they can suggest the farmers to growing which crop in which year and in which area, according to many input information like the marketing and supply, demand, and price, something like that. Okay, so they have to really know that which part of Thailand is growing what, and have to update this information regularly. Okay, and also the supporting information and evidence, something like that. So all kinds of information putting together in this kind of AgriMap application. Okay, and I am the team that developed this application and have been in operations from like 6 or 7 years already. Now the major problem, even though the area, okay, they want to know that which area is growing what. For example, the paddy field. Okay, I can just give one example, the paddy field. We are talking about the whole country information. Okay, where is the rice field? However, to get this information in Thailand, even though we have remote sensing department from the Ministry of Agriculture and so on, they have to send people, okay, to the field and really check that this field is really a paddy field or not, something like that. And this kind of survey can do once every 2 years. Okay, that's the problem. That means that, for example, the current data in AgriMap, okay, is in 2020. Now we are in 2023, which means that this paddy field map is 2 or 3 years old. Okay, not updated anymore. And I know they are working very hard to get the latest information available very soon. And they turn to more and more onto the remote sensing application and with high accuracy. Okay, I'm not talking about remote sensing application to detect the paddy field in unspecified accuracy, but something that high enough so that they could save the resource, can save people in the field. Of course, for the data that we can use freely available is from the Copernicus Sentinel-1 and 2. Okay, I'm talking 2 first because this one is easier to process. It's optical imagery satellite, okay, something similar to our camera, so similar to what we can see by the red, green, blue, and more. Okay, we can use infrared, something like that, to detect, or near infrared to detect which part of the world by resolution of 10 by 10 meters. Okay, this one is very useful in agriculture. Okay, and other forest management, inland coastal water quality, something like that. Another one is the Sentinel-1, which is not the optical imagery, but it's called radar imagery. The thing that I like about this one, and the thing that why it is included in this talk, because this one can see through the cloud. Okay, because you can see later on that in Thailand, even though we could have very high detail in the Sentinel-2, but most of our country, okay, are covered by cloud, okay, half of the year, something like that. Another technology that I should mention briefly is about the data cube, or now it's called Open Data Cube. Okay, it's a platform for geospatial data management. We can do a whole lot more in a very standardized way. Okay, and of course, the way to share the data is very, very convenient. Let's say something like that. In order to use this kind of technology, we have to have it run on a very good computer or high performance computer. And we have this project going on with our partner from Taiwan. Okay, 2 organizations share this kind of a joint project. Okay, on my part, I'm in Thailand from NECTEC, okay, National Electronic Computer Technology Center. But the 2 organizations from Taiwan are the National Space Organization. I think they changed the name just recently to TASA, Taiwan Space Agency. And another one is called National Center for High Performance Computing, or NCHC, because the data cube run on NCHC. Okay, hence this is a very good computer cluster that need to have large storage and high computing power. Okay, so I think we are in a very lucky position to have this kind of cooperation, and I should give some acknowledgement to these 2 partners. Okay. Okay. Now, how can I do this kind of thing? Since we have the AgriMap, okay, the update is probably too slow. 2 years, but the accuracy is okay. It's reasonable because they send people to double check, okay, what is really going on. So I have to use the latest survey data and the same satellite images of the same period of time. Okay, so since we can choose many pedophile all over the country, so I choose 10 regions for the ground truth, and each one of them is about 15,000 square kilometer. Okay, and we use all kind of basic information from the satellite products like NDVI, NDWI, things like that. Okay, I'm not going to the detail today, to too much detail, just some concept. Now, since we have the cube is not just one image, it is a stack of images, okay, in 3 dimensions. Think about, you can have just 1 pixel, but different temporal profile. Okay. The first, the top part of this slide is the rice field, okay, 1 pixel in the rice field in, I think, about 2 years. 2 years. There are many seasons in there, but 1 crop of rice is in that red box, okay? And the bottom part of this slide is the sugarcane, okay? Even for human eyes, we can see immediately that rice and sugarcane both are different, okay? They're different. They have different curvature profile, even though maybe in the optical images, they are in the same color, okay, but different profile, different temporal profile. And that's the idea, that we can use AI to model and to tell us that this is the signal, this is the pattern that they can differentiate between different kind of crop. And not only that, if we can formulate this problem in hierarchical way, okay, hierarchical classification, we can choose the easiest problem first. For example, to separate between the vegetation or non-vegetation areas. Okay, for vegetation, now we try to detect rice or non-rice. For the non-rice, we detect sugarcane and passing this non-sugarcane and non-rice to the lower, okay, hierarchy. For example, the next crop, I could choose the cassava, for example, and so on and so on, okay? I tried separate model for Sentinel-1, the radar, and Sentinel-2, the optical, and this is the best accuracy that I can get. Okay, it's usually very high. However, it's not practical by some problem. Okay, Sentinel-2, okay, is a little bit higher than Sentinel-1. Why? Because, like I said earlier, the cloud problem, okay, cloud cover problem, even in this area, okay, is in Khon Kaen, okay, one district in Khon Kaen. This is less cloud cover, but you can see the white images. There are many white images, but they are cloud cover area. For the left-hand side, which is Sentinel-2 images. For Sentinel-1 images, it's very consistent, but not too much detail, okay? However, in the heavy cloud cover area, look like you don't have good source, good picture at all. Let's say something like this. So the Sentinel-2 model are useless. It's useless in most part of the country. Okay. In the less cloud cover area, the performance of each model, okay, is according to this slide. Sentinel-2 is good, right? Because they can have clear picture, about 90%. Sentinel-1 lower, okay, by 5%. But in heavy cloud cover, yeah, we can guess that the Sentinel-2 gonna get problem. Okay? It dropped heavily to 60-something% only. But the Sentinel-1, which is very good, okay, at dealing with the cloud, still quite stable. Okay, so I think my next report, if I have chance, okay, in this event, I think I'm gonna try to somehow combine these two technologies together in order to have the good model, not just hierarchical model, but the hybridization model of the Sentinel-1 and Sentinel-2, which could yield a high performance in accuracy performance for Thai major crop. Okay, and remember that we have to do the same thing here for the whole country. That could create very challenging in terms of the resources, computational resources and storage. And then we can have to somehow come up with some practical solution for this. But the result, the output of this research is very, very important. It will help Thailand and probably in your country, okay, as well, for the government to have a very good, very up-to-date data so that they can produce a very good and benefit the farmer even more, okay? That should be it for now. Thank you for listening today. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nopadon. Any questions from the floor? Okay. Oh, please.
Yeah, please.
One question, please.
Yes. Yeah, one question. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. I think it's a very good idea to use LS team for time series data for the identification of the different crops. But would you let me know the accuracy of the identification of, you said the 6 crops. How many crops are you trying to identify at the same time from the time series data of NDVI?
Yeah, right now I have the result for the first 2 major crop, which is the rice and sugarcane. Okay, but in Thailand we have 13 economic crops. So I will try to do from these 2 major parts first, 2 major crops first, and continue on and on and on later on if I have enough resources. Yes.
In our resort, yes, of course. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. We need to continue. Next speaker. Yasser Fahim, School of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science, Pakistan. Okay, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. As the colleague introduced, I'm Yasser Fahim. I'm an associate professor at the School of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science at NUST, Pakistan. I'll be presenting the progress of the project that is titled an AI-enabled quasi-real-time water quality monitoring for early chemical and or biocontamination detection. It is an ongoing project, so we still have 3 to 4 months in the project. So I will be presenting the progress. This is our project's team. Dr. Mohammad Muazzam Faraz is primarily looking at the AI part, and I'm more or less looking at the IoT part. Before I share the details of the project, a quick background and the unmet needs. This project targets United Nations SDG number 6, safe drinking water for all. What's the problem? In Pakistan, 20% of population do not have access to clean drinking water. And there are 60 million people who are exposed to drinking water that is contaminated with arsenic. So that is carcinogenic. The situation is similar in Bangladesh as well. 35 to 77 million people in Bangladesh may be exposed to arsenic and contaminated water. Another problem, open water bodies in Pakistan, they are not monitored regularly. So we don't have any IoT-based systems. So this is, and this happens every year in a lake near Islamabad. It's called Rawal Lake. During the pre-monsoon season, we have a dry season. So the water quantity reduces to a very small area. Fish gather around there. So usually the dissolved oxygen value reduces. So it's necessarily contaminated. And every 2 or 3 years, it happens that fish start to die. And we had a panic in the news that maybe the water has been contaminated, which was not the case. Another picture on the right, many people consume water from open water bodies that is not treated. So they are also exposed to contaminated water. We don't have any data. Situation is similar in many other partner countries. For example, Bangladeshi rivers have also found to be contaminated due to industrial waste. In Nepal, the situation was similar. Things are getting better now as the sewerage system is being separated from the river system. This is a diagram, an image that I took from United Nations Environmental Program's website. we can see that for most of the countries, parameters about water quality are available. But when we come to the Asian countries in this region, except a few countries, we don't have any parameters about what's happening, whether the lakes are contaminated or not. Especially keeping in view that this region is going to be severely impacted by water scarcity. We can see over here, like India and the countries above, Nepal is safe. They are going to be high. There is high expectancy of water scarcity by 2040. And when we start from, like, this is Pakistan, and then Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, and those regions towards the left, including Turkey, these countries are going to be severely impacted, and we are already facing this issue in big cities like Islamabad and Karachi. Pakistan's environmental agency, it does keep track of the quality of water in open reservoirs, but they do it once or twice a year. So they don't have real-time data. If a lake becomes contaminated, they will know it about like 5 to 6 months what's happening. So what's the solution that we proposed? To develop an AI powered IoT enabled system that can remotely monitor water quality parameters and also predict if there is some contamination. For example, we may have deployed 7 to 8 types of sensors. They may not be necessarily monitoring other type of values, but we are trying to find correlation whether ammonia in water gets affected by other parameters. So if we have like a few sensors, a cost-effective solution, we can predict the values of other parameters as well. So the system is planned to measure water quality remotely by IoT devices, forecast weather contamination based on time series data analysis, forecast parameters measurable only via lab tests. So that is what we are trying to do right now, and alerts authorities in time if some contamination is expected. So this is the overall system architecture. I will be explaining it in the next slide from top to bottom. So at the bottom, we have the deployment layer where we have to deploy like an IoT system, maybe Arduino or some other microcontrollers on which a set of sensors are connected. Once sensing data is gathered at a water body, it needs to be communicated back to the server. So depending upon the country and the infrastructure, we may use technologies like LoRaWAN that offer high ranged low rate data rate transmissions. We may have ZigBee for transferring data to a nearby device that is connected to the internet, or we may have access to NB IoT as well. As far as I know, like India, Pakistan, we don't have access to it right now. So once data gets sent via communication technology to the server, we are deploying a server that is going to maintain all the sense data, on which we will be running our AI module to predict and forecast whether a contamination is going to happen or not. And then at the top, we have on application, we are developing a dashboard for the citizens, for the water management bodies of the environment partner countries. So these are primarily water quality parameters that can usually be classified into physical water quality parameters, chemical parameters, and biological parameters. Earlier, we didn't used to have sensors for detecting most of these parameters, but now with the advent of technology, for most of these parameters, we have sensors. So it is a good news. The problem that we have been facing, and we are trying to provide flexibility. So when we deploy this dashboard in the future for our environment partner countries, people may be using different types of different quantity sensors. They may be using different hardware. They may be using different communication technologies. So we want to develop a flexible dashboard that gives the flexibility. So whatever technology, whatever sort of sensors that you are using, if you want to upload your data to the dashboard for analysis, you can easily configure that as well. Okay. So we can either go for off-shelf sensors, manually develop a system by connecting a series of sensors, or some sensors are some ready-to-use devices are already available in the market as well. The best one is by Libelium, but a single unit costs more than 3,500 euros, so it's not cost effective for our countries. So this is the presentation layer, the dashboard we have been developing right now. So for example, you can select any site from the map or from the dashboard, and all the parameters for which the data is available will be made visible to the user. So we have classified users into basically 3 categories. One, citizens, anyone can access and view what is happening. And then for tech engineers, if a device goes down, a battery is out or sensor is malfunctioning, so the technical team will get those sort of notifications. And then water management authorities as well, because if something is wrong, a water parameter is going out of range, they can be alerted well in time so that they can take remedial actions. For example, in Islamabad, if the management knew well in advance that dissolved oxygen is becoming low because monsoon season hasn't come yet, so they could have stopped water supply from Islamabad, from that lake, and supplied it from another source. So we could have saved that aquatic life as well. Okay. So this is more or less the dashboard where we can see in time series the values for the selected range, and if any value goes out of range, the concerned staff will be automatically notified. This is another view of the dashboard. For example, if a new country, if India or Bangladesh wants to add a new project, so it can the tech person that we will provide access to can add a new project, maybe add a device to a new project. For example, on Lake X, you want to deploy 3 devices, so you can manually add those devices. A device may have 1 or more sensors, so the necessary configuration can be done all over here as well. Next, once we have the data after deployment, we are working on developing time series based forecasting models. One thing is usually simple. If you have 5 to 6 parameters, you have data of 5 to 6 years. So based on that, you can predict what will be happening this year. The problem is there are many parameters like nitrates, some ammonia-based chemicals for which sensors are not easily available. So what we are trying to do is to develop a cost-effective solution that even for the unknown parameters for which only lab-based sampling can be done, we want to find the correlation between the parameters that are measurable via sensors and those that are not measurable. So that is what we are trying to do right now. So if you guys have any data sets, especially for the chemicals that are the results for which are obtained by lab tests, so please do share them with us. So this is more or less that we are trying to do right now. We are in the final stages for this work. So this is the overall architecture, as I said earlier, that we are trying to develop. We have been conducting workshops. Basically, our group MacViz, Learning, Vision, and Intelligent Systems group is focused on agricultural applications and water management as well. And we have been presenting the details of the project with our collaborators at Malaysia, and we have also presented the work at Myron, Malaysia. So what is the expected outcome of the project? An AI-enabled quasi-real-time water quality monitoring for early chemical or biochemical detection. Impact, we want to develop a centralized open source repository to manage water quality data from sources in South Asian regions, and hopefully in future we can connect that with the UNEP so that they have access to the parameters of our region, and we will make this dashboard available to all NRIN partners within 3 months. Some details about me, especially from what has been discussed today and yesterday, especially by you, sir. My interest is primarily in internet and mobile ad hoc networks. For the past 2 years, focus has been on developing solutions that target UN's SDGs. Right now, and we have also submitted a couple of grant applications. I'm trying to develop an opportunistic networking-based system. For example, in Himalaya regions, in many mountainous regions of Pakistan, people don't have access to internet. They may have basic 3G services. You cannot deliver any agriculture related or learning content via that. So the idea is that people have smartphones. For example, helicopters are flying every day to Everest. Public transport is available. So Raspberry Pi based devices, let's call them mini serverlets, can be deployed at those devices. They can carry e-learning content for schools, agricultural training content, or they can be used to collect weather data from the remotely deployed sensors. Okay, so that content will be autonomously transmitted for hop by hop via mobile phones, via those Raspberry Pi devices, and can get delivered to the regions. We are also developing cybers, that is sort of a simulation or a gamification of chemistry labs. So what we are trying to do is for the year 11 and year 12 college level labs, we are developing a chemistry engine. So students will be able to conduct all the experiments from their desktop, because establishing chemistry labs is expensive. They are not readily available in many regions in Pakistan and over here as well. So students, especially females, will have access to that. And in addition, currently I'm working on developing a crowdsourced platform for identification of diseases, pests, new species. Maybe if trackers go to some region, they can capture photos by that application, and whenever they have access to the internet, it will be automatically uploaded to the system. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yasser. Any question from the floor? Please.
Thank you for interesting presentation. 50 years ago in Japan, we had a similar problem. Water was polluted. Then China followed Japan. The water was polluted. So why Pakistan followed this problem? You can skip this problem. They can keep the clean. And also next step in Nepal, they may follow this problem. So do you have any for Nepali, for example?
No, the problem is even in Pakistan, it's quite clear that many industries, they are releasing water. So if the government does not have any system, they know it. But if there are no such platform, I see it in a different way. If the government is not doing its job, maybe we can develop such systems to make the data available and socially pressurize it to take corrective measures. So maybe that's the right way. So it's obvious they should be taking the decision. So if they are not, let's develop such systems, make data available, and then work towards building a better system.
Yeah, so maybe I think for to measure the water is very important, but to find industries, they may make pollution. To finding the bad company, such IoT is.
In fact, that is the plan. The plan is to river Sindh, we can deploy such a system after every 30, 40 kilometers or 10 kilometers. So at point A, the river is not contaminated. And after 10 kilometers, the river is contaminated. So something has happened in between. So it becomes easier for the government to pinpoint the sources of contamination. So maybe that would be easier.
Okay, it's very useful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you. Thank you for a nice presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, actually the problems are very similar between Nepal, Pakistan, and this region. So do you have any working collaboration with any institution in Nepal?
No, not yet, but we would love to, especially if you have some data sets available, that would be great. So we already found a data set of a river from Hong Kong.
Okay.
They have readily made available even lab samples for the past 5 years, but the volume of those readings is not to successfully run deep learning models and get some accurate outputs. So we are looking for some data as well.
Like I am working for Modern Bhandari University of Science and Technology in Nepal. It's near from Kathmandu. So after this session, I would like to see you and discuss. Thank you.
Thank you. That's why we are here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, because of the time, probably. Quickly.
Yeah, I just quickly want to. Actually, the work you have been doing here is very much similar to the work that National Academy of Science and Technology Earlier, it is called RONAST, right? Now it is National Academy of Science and Technology. Actually, I think you can, communicate with the scientist over there.
Sure,
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I can give you the reference. The number.
That would be great. That
Yeah.
would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent. Excellent. Now you get many connection, more work. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Yasser. The next speaker, Shayama Wilson. That's why I couldn't find. It's like is it last name like? Okay. She will give a talk about the hybrid approach of the detection crop disorders in horticulture from Sri Lanka. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So, as he introduced, I am Shama Wilson from Uvavelasa University of Sri Lanka, and I'm a researcher and also I'm a master's student. And here I'm going to talk about one of our proposal, a hybrid approach for detecting crop disorders in agriculture. So, before moving to the topic, I would like to explain the ICT options for agriculture in Sri Lanka. So there are several websites and mobile applications have been developed for Sri Lankan farmers to access information and knowledge. So, however, there are a list of websites and also mobile applications. So what we observe, many of the websites and mobile applications provide general information for farmers, and also some of the websites are inactive. And when considering the websites of the last websites that I have mentioned in the slide, it's a official website maintained by Department of Agriculture, and also the Krushi Advisor is also a mobile application department by the Sri Lankan government. Department of Agriculture in Sri Lankan government. So and also we observe that there are a lot of applications for Sri Lankan farmers, but none of these applications are used in practice. So we observe why. In the beginning, we thought it is because of IT illiteracy, but actually it's not, because we did few surveys, and also Dr. Mahindaratna also did a comprehensive survey in Sri Lanka. So what he also identified, and also me also identified, I numbered 1, 2, 3 as according to the Mahindaratna's order. So the most of the farmers select application based on these features. If the application provides specific localized information and credible agriculture information in local language, then only they pretty much interested to use an application. So, but very beginning we thought because of IT illiteracy, farmers are not using a mobile application, but it's not like that. They want they want information for their context. So they are seeking contextual information. Say, for example, they want to get the information based on their farm size, location, weather conditions, and what are the equipment that they have, and based on their preferences. So then we thought to develop an application named Govinana, which provide contextual information for farmers and informations actually related to the crops, pests, diseases, land preparation, growing and harvesting methods, and also real-time situational information such as current crop production and market prices. So, to provide contextual information for farmers, this application contains ontological knowledge base. I'm the one who represented for ontological knowledge base. So those who are in computing domain knows what is ontological knowledge base. Actually, it's a knowledge representation technique. In AI, there are several knowledge representation techniques. Ontology is also one of the knowledge representation techniques. So we developed a knowledge base. So in this knowledge base, we developed the structure in a way that we can provide information to the farmer's context. So there are several ontological knowledge representation languages. So most of languages are based on logics, description logic, first order logics. So nowadays we have web-based ontological representation language named Web Ontology Language and Resource Description Framework. So we use Web Ontology Language, OWL, to develop our knowledge base. So And also we use tool Protege tool. Here you can see the normally ontology contain entities, classes, object properties, data properties. I'll show these things with a diagram. And also this is the tool we use to develop our knowledge base. So the main, if I move to the snapshot of our database, so here knowledge base. So here you can see the nodes in this diagram. The nodes are the classes. Sometimes in logics we call it concepts, and the relation in between these classes we called object properties or roles. And there are some attributes can attach it with the classes, so we call it data properties when considering the OWL language. The main important point of this knowledge base, after feeding the data explicitly, other implicit knowledge can be automatically inferred. It has the capability, it's integrated with the reasoner. So the implicit knowledge automatically will be reasoned based on the explicit knowledge. So here you can see the bold color data information are the data that we feed. After reasoning, the highlighted data are the reasoned by the reasoner. So then we can see here rather feeding data by ourselves, the knowledge base also have the feature to infer implicit knowledge. So there's a good feature. So then farmer not only can access the implicit knowledge and also the implicit knowledge. So up to now in this knowledge base contain around 10,000 axioms and 7,000 logical axioms and 91 classes and likewise data properties. So, and apart from our application, this is for the researchers, anyone interested to access our database, so knowledge base, so they can access via this web page. So they can access knowledge by querying using Sparkle query, which is the language that used to query the knowledge base, or typing a natural language questions. Okay, so now our application in practice, and actually current situation and not many farmers using this application, but there's a high tendency to use our application as we observe, and especially this application used for to access the crop disorder details as we observe. So then, as you may aware, so the crop disorder details and prevention methods accessing in early stage very important, because crop disorder cause yield reduction that has direct influence on the domestic and international food production system and result in economic losses. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization, plant diseases and pest diseases are responsible for 20% to 40% loss in global food production. So then, and also on the other hand, farmers also really want to access the crop disorder because they want to mitigate from the yield losses. So then mostly our application used for accessing the crop disorder details. So however, when we talking about the farmers, what they said, still our application is not user friendly because application provide many navigation to access the information. So then we are finding a solution for that. So that is in that case, before finding a solution, we thought to know what is the traditional method normally that they are doing without application. So as we understood, normally they use smartphone as well. So if they observe any crop symptoms, diseases in a plant, so what they do normally, based on the first try to figure out it based on their knowledge and experience. If not, they will take photos and share with their friends, colleagues, farmers, and try to figure out the disease. And some farmers goes to the agriculture experts. So in Sri Lanka, we call agriculture inspectors, go to the inspectors or share the photos with expert. Thereafter, try to get the advice from expert. Sometimes if the expert cannot identify the disease based on the photos shared by the farmer, so they come to the field and visit the field and try to figure out the disease and provide the solution. This is the traditional conventional method of identifying the disease and providing the advice. So then these methods are really inefficient and ineffective. So also farmers requested a solution through our application. So to provide a solution, also we analyze the existing solution for this one. Then based on that, we identify many researchers provide this kind of provide a solution for this kind of problem using machine learning and image processing technique. So but we observe that there are limitations in these techniques as well. So because most machine learning model works well for only or works well under specific condition. When it's go to the real practical situation, sometimes it will not work well. And also some symptoms cannot be captured. Most machine learning and image processing technique based on images, that mean can train with the image symptoms on the images. So then sometimes we know some diseases we cannot capture to an image like smell. So in such a situation, the machine learning techniques will not work well. And also machine learning techniques do not produce meaningful information apart from its prediction. So in that case, we thought we can merge the machine learning technique with our knowledge base, then we can provide a good solution for this one. So then this is a simple architecture that we plan to propose. So because farmers are very familiar to take photos, through our application we thought to add a function, let the farmers to take photos by tagging the image with keywords and other details, and allow farmers to send the pictures to the system. And with the machine learning model, actually we haven't yet planned what kind of model we are going to propose. So still we have an idea. We want to apply the machine learning technique for here with the ontology. So then we thought to get with the machine learning model our knowledge base to provide prediction and advice to the farmers. So then this is the simple abstraction process. And as I mentioned earlier, we allow farmers to send photos and first try to predict the disease and based on the provided data. Using machine learning model, if it is success, the rest of the parts, that mean the control methods and other required information will be provided through ontology. So if the machine learning model not successfully detect the disease, again we try to get the help from ontology, because ontology have many data related with the disease and prevention methods. So we thought to give a simple interface for farmers to access the ontology and finally to give the advice. Actually, the main significance of this proposal, this supports to produce meaningful knowledge and information to the considered context, because the ontology developed by considering the contextual information, and we arrange the structured in a way that it can infer the contextual information. And real world data can also be collected with keywords, because in future, so through this application we allow farmers to capture the images and send to the system. So then we can collect many data from the farmers. In future we can use that real world images for future predictions and future research. And also improved ontology knowledge base can be used for other similar research. And because we have developed our ontology with web standard, so then we can easily reuse for other purposes. And also if we need to add precision agriculture, so then we know we can collect the sensory information. So this ontology also provide facility to store the sensory information, and we can use that stored data, that means sensory information, we can store in the ontology, and that ontology we can use for data integration as well. This is our proposal for the farmers problems, and these are the reference that I have used to identify the possible approach. And thank you very much giving this chance for me to present here. So
thank you, Shayama. Any question from the floor? Okay, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, we are also working to develop similar programs in Nepal. But I have few questions like
yes.
who are the local stakeholders that you work with? My first question. Second question is, can the users use the program when there is no internet? And the third question is, among the users, how many in percentage they are regular users?
Actually, so the second question, no, the farmers cannot use this application without internet. So the first case, the main stakeholders, we build this application for especially farmers and also agriculture inspectors. Apart from that, other stakeholders who are in agriculture, researchers, and can also use this application. This is available in Google Play Store. Anyone can download and use it. May I know the third?
The third was like how many are regular users?
Actually, normally this is a collaborative project.
Yeah.
That one you monitored by our research group in Australia. So now I haven't an idea. Around, as I remember, so around around 1,000 farmers registered to the system, but I don't have an idea about the active user. If you are really interested, I'll inform you later.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further question?
Thank you, Shyama, for your presentation. It's very interesting. I've got two questions. First, what are the barriers or challenges that you have faced during the development of these apps? And secondly, is there any capacity building or training for the farmers who might not be familiar with these apps? Like, is there any perhaps sort of introduction first to the farmers on using or applying these apps and then develop their skills as well to use it? Thank you.
Okay, regarding the second question, our project normally conduct awareness session for farmers with the support of agriculture inspector in Sri Lanka. Area-wise assigned agriculture inspectors. They are the person directly interact with the farmers by getting with help of them. So we are conducting awareness sessions, and apart from that, we are sharing our details with social media. But we don't think it's very much effective because most of the farmers not using social media. So the most effective one is conducting awareness session with agriculture inspector. May I know your first question again?
The barriers, the challenges that you have faced during the development of your apps.
Okay, then the first challenges we face. So then introducing a new thing for our farmers because they don't like to what it called get rid of their traditional method. They don't like most of the old farmers don't want to go with new technology. So that's because we want to convince them this is a good thing. If you get into this, then we can they will have good benefits. But convenience, this message for them is very difficult. So when considering the new farmers, then younger farmers, so they are really like to use new technologies. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Any further question? Okay, then thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Next speaker, the Nina Amaya Gokhali. Gokhali. Okay. But yeah, she's the chief of senior scientist, National Animal Breeding and Genetics Research Center, Nepal Agricultural Research Council. It's an honor to have you here. Oh, thank you. And the topic is the ICT-based Animal Genetic Improvement Program in Nepal. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this giving me opportunity. I really thank the organizer for this. And actually, I already mentioned in earlier that this is really, I'm enjoying this program because this is the first time that I am with some other disciplines, right? So I feel like earlier I was just working with livestock people only. Today I feel like I'm having like outcrossing. It's not like inbreeding, So my topic I had chosen is this. I just wanted to share with you the status that of ICT, which is used in animal genetic improvement, basically in Nepal. And before I go to the main topic, I will be dealing about the information of agriculture in Nepal and the programs that is under National Animal Breeding and Genetic Research Center, and also important ICT initiative in animal genetic improvement program in Nepal. So you know very well where our Nepal is situated, and earlier in also it is very clearly shown that Nepal has very diverse kind of altitude, even in a very short distance, right? And we have like 64 meters above sea level to the height of the Mount Everest. So we have diversity in the climate and in a very short distance from south to north. And because of that, we have lots of variation in the climates as well. So we can have any kinds of animals that can adapt in Nepal. So actually, when we see the livestock contribution in the agriculture GDP, it contributes around 28%, and mainly it is contributed by the dairy sector, and the dairy sector rise contribution in the agriculture GDP. It is. So when you see the challenges in livestock sector, actually, we have lots of, when you count the head of the livestock, we have lots, but still the demand of the livestock products is still not met because, because of low level of productivity, poor genetics, and also we have not access to the productive and adaptive livestock, and also we have inadequate access to various services and inputs, and because of and also the livestock has another challenge of having various diseases, which is economically very important. That is like FMD and mastitis kind of diseases, and I already mentioned that data. There is limited access to the information, which is already sensed by the earlier presenters as well, and the main thing, and the data that makes you very strong. In order to make a policy, or in order to bring up some of the programs, actually data plays a vital role. So no systematic database in livestock sector. It's not no. It's like it's not inadequate. That I have to mention here. So before I go to there, Nepal, I want to say something about my, little brief about my office, that is Nepal Agricultural Research Council, that is established in 1991, and it is the apex body for agricultural research in Nepal, and the mandate is to assist government in formulation of agricultural policies and strategies. This is the main mandate for Nepal Agricultural Research Council, and this is the organogram of NARC. And among the different research centers, National Animal Breeding and Genetic Research Center is one of that, which is mainly dealing on the breeding aspect, and that is breeding means you are always concerned about the data. So our main programs are like genetic resource conservation, promotion, and utilization, reproductive physiology and biotechnology, and another is animal genetic improvement and breed development. And the main mandate of this center is national livestock database management. So been working since 1991, and all the time we are playing with the, we are collecting data. But up to 2008, we are collecting data in a very traditional way. We just collect the data, we just enter in the computer. Sometimes computer crash, and all our data is gone, right? So we work in the and when you see the ICTs in livestock, it's mainly I told you that is the main tool that transform the society. The knowledge that transform the society. That's what I believe. And in Nepal these days, ICT is a priority in agriculture development. So all different levels of government, they are encouraging the programs to put this ICT in the agriculture development, especially in the extension activities. And also Nepal Agriculture Research Council has also established the Kisan Call Center. This is the call center which is connect the scientists with the farmers. So this is how we have started this one, and different disciplinary centers, they are also including this ICT in their own researches. So when you see the initiatives, actually dairy cattle improvement program, that is we started in 2008. This is the first program that we use ICT in while we are improving the genetics of the animals. So in this from this time we used, actually it's not like very advanced. We use Microsoft Access to collect the data, and it was not like server based. So you have to collect the data and bring in somewhere, and you just have to enter those. And again we use like platform for that one, but what's happened is like sometimes the computer crashes and we lose all the samples. So we always, what you have to do, like we enter the samples and enter the data, and we have to again save it in the hard disks. So that is how we were doing during this during the dairy cattle improvement program. So and we in that one we collect farmers data from the farmers that is collected by the extension workers, and again data is bring to the Nepal Agriculture Research Council, and that is mainly in the National Animal Breeding Center, which is having this data management unit. So this is the mechanism that worked that time. It was really challenging, and this is and after the success of this CIP, we again went to another commodity. We used the cattle in addition to buffaloes in addition to cattle. Earlier we just focused on the cattle, but dairy animals means we used again another commodity, that is buffaloes. So yeah, we incorporated buffalo genetic improvement program together with the dairy cattle improvement program. So after the success of people started knowing the importance of data and also use of the ICs. There are many other programs upcoming, like National Livestock Sector Innovation Project, that is also focusing on the data collection. So they are using the same ICT model to collect the different set of data, not only the production also the other aspect like climate data, everything was collected for this project. And there is another project came in the goat sector, and that is Nepal Agriculture and Food Security Program that is funded by DFID and not DFID, it's IFAD, and in that one also, in this one they use the server for collecting data so that and you can enter the data somewhere else, and that will be collectively collected by the in one place in the data management unit. So that project that focuses on only the breeding animals. So only the larger farmers, larger farms are used for this project. But the other project came after that. That is FANSEP, that is Food and Nutrition Security Enhancement Project, which use marginalized farmers. That earlier one, after learning from the earlier project, then we started going to even the grassroots farmers, which is having the only few numbers of goats in their homestead. And there is another project called Community-Based Goat Breeding Program that is funded by USAID. So in that one, we use the community to improve the, we develop the cooperatives among the farmers, and we use the, we use cooperative to collect the data. So learning from every step, we are going forward, and all these programs actually we wanted to identify the high genetics from the population. So this is the model that we use for the goats, and also we use poultry breed improvement programs. We use ICT again, like different platform, data-based platform for the poultry breeding. So using that one, we collected a huge number of data, and we can identify the best population, so that Dakini breed, which is the indigenous chicken breed in Nepal, actually it used to lay only 50 to 60 eggs per year, and we selected the population, and so now it's around 200 eggs per year. So it took because it's a breeding program, so using the selection tools, it takes a long time. So now it's a good success, because we are using not only the traditional way of data collection, we are also using the ICT together. So this is the result that we have obtained. And also we are working with the pig improvement project, and we are developing black collar pig because in Nepal they prefer to have black collar pigs. So they believe that that is religiously and culturally very important. And also they say like black collar pig is more tasty than the white collar ones. So we've emphasized in this one. And recently, from last year, we are working. We are involved in this AADGZ. This is African Asian Dairy Genetic Gain Program that is actually led by ILRI, International Livestock Research Institute, and actually that is funded by Gates Foundation. And the main vision here is bridging the gap in information on system characteristics and production performances, and genomic information on dairy animals from farming system of Africa and India, Asia. So now earlier we are just working only with the national database. Now we are also involved in the together with other countries. So this has the main objective to establish, or the Nepal has already established something, initiated something, so we have to improve the national livestock performance recording system. So this is, and in this one we develop and scale ICT tools to capture all the informations, and and also not only taking the information from the farmers, we are also giving the feedbacks to the farmers. We are just giving the result to the farmers, and also we are also informing them. Your animals, the seasonal variation, the climates, the weather, all the data are included, so we can inform them in advance to to do the other activities in the farm. So this is the conceptual framework of AADZZ. So that's, we collect the data. This is all the system that we are saying, like we collect the data that goes to the that collected from using the apps, that is mobile apps that we are using here, and for this one actually we don't need internet. We just put the data, and as soon as they connected to the internet, it is uploaded in the system. That is this is very convenient, because the farmers always don't have, especially the farmers are not the one who is collecting the data. Using the livestock development assistant, who knows, who are the technicians. Basically they are the technicians who works together with the farmers, so they are the one who is collecting the data. So as soon as they go to the farm, they collect the data, and it automatically it comes like where, what time, all the other informations are also automatically uploaded. I don't know, maybe they put the GPS in it, like in the program. So this is the portal that we use while collecting the data. And if you want to do the access to the platform, if you are Nepali, you can, all the livestock people, they can go to this platform. But if you are the team, then you can access to the whole the countries that involved in this program. So this is the thing that we can see, and we can do the filter in any specific information. If you want to see the specifically for one breed, you can go and select and then it can filter. And also animals, when they are breeding, and it is already the date of artificial insemination will be there, and also the information that if the calving time is very near, they will all give the information that you have to be prepared for the calving, and this is the the thing. And this is also help the government monitor how many artificial insemination is going. Nowadays, what's happening is like we estimate, but estimate only with the estimate we say like this percent is the success rate for the artificial insemination, because we don't have the actual data. We just can estimate, like if the percentage of conception rate is like 35%, then we calculate with that data only. It's not the actual data that we are doing using. So as we I already mentioned, like in Nepal we are rich in this biodiversity, livestock diversity. So we have like almost 26 different breeds, and together with that we again have like wild population, like for buffaloes we have, also for pig we have wild population. So so we don't have this breed releasing mechanism, only because we don't have this complete database. for for releasing the data, we need a database of all different kinds of parameters to they have the specific different parameters to release the animal, but because we don't have like complete package, so we couldn't release the different breeds which is identified so far. And yeah, it's the yeah, we always think like, you know, these these indigenous breeds are very resistant to disease and everything. This, no, you know, so some work have been done here and there, and but it is not like too much. It's not like documented very well. So I yeah, and so now when we are thinking about working in the Himalayas, which is the very harsh environment, and these are the animals that we found. You know, this is identified in the high altitude. This is the in the right. It is the Changra goat, which is the only Pashmina goat. You know, with the Kashmir which can produce Kashmir, and it is the population is very low. It's like 1 lakh. Yeah, this around 1 lakhs, and it we don't have like much of the information on that. You know, people come, they collect some data, and you know, they publish in in somewhere, but the data is not stored, right? So now, you know, we are working. The government is giving priority to the endangered. So we are working on this Changra goat, and even the quality of the Changra goats, the Pashmina that is produced by the Changra goats is not yet done. So, you know, all the information, yeah, when we are trying to make a policy, we need the data. So, yeah, so that is all is lacking, you know, and there is another ship there in the upper left, that is called Bhaglung ship. You know, that is the Bhaglung ship, which is found in the, you know, together with the, almost like together with the yaks, you know, and that is found around up to 3,500 to 4,000 meters above sea level. They are found there, and they have a very, you know, unique mechanism to adapt in that one. You know, we have already identified some novel gene, which govern for the adaptation to altitude. So we have very important, very nice genetic resources in the higher altitude, but the information that we are having is very, very less. So, and you know, yeah, in the early morning today, you know, Pawanji, he has already mentioned about the yak, and the, you know, yak is the iconic symbol for high altitude region, and the unfortunate part is the population is really declining, and the information that is taken for this one, you know, when you look at the statistics there, they put yak and yak hybrids together. So it is so difficult for the government to make a policy, because you have to know the, you know, how many are the pure yaks and how many are the hybrids. But they put everything together. They put the yak together so that the information that is having is very confusing, you know, that is misleading. So we need to use, you know, different tools, ICT tools, to take the information on these. And also, you know, in the morning also, I really want to emphasize that, you know, in order to increase the number of these very important, iconic animals, we need to also think about the other aspects, like, you know, how to help the herders as well. You know, if all the people, they want to have the more comfortable life. So these days the people are people who are used to be the yak herders, they want to go for the, you know, more lucrative business like tourism, or, you know, and also some farm. They, you know, now the young people don't want to just go for herding, they want to also have the, you know, study at the same time. So Yasir has presented, and I really appreciate, like, if we can use this e-learning thing in that places, that will be more beneficial for the farmers, and also at the same time that the consequences you see, it's very positive for the yak population. So when you see that ICT can initiate the formation of knowledge, I always say, like, knowledge is it's a strength, right? The formation of knowledge is society in rural areas and developing countries. This goal can only be achieved when the knowledge and information are effectively collected for the entire agriculture and rural development. Yes, thank you. Actually, yeah, this is the first time I went to Boche Yak Farm, and where we wanted to see the status over there. And yeah, me here in the Yak. Thank you. Any queries?
Do you have any question to Dr. Nina?
Thank you. Very interesting. I have too many questions. It's only one very simple one. You introduced Casimir.
Yeah.
So is it a good business in Nepal?
Yeah, this Pasmina, that Kashmir, is one of the major export from Nepal.
Okay. And another one, simple one. Do you know genomic selection for breeding? So do you employ it? Genomic selection.
Yeah. We are doing the genomic selection for the cattle and buffaloes that working together with the ILRI, International Livestock Research.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
We will run over time a bit.
Thank you very much.
Sorry.
I am very familiar with a goat development farm in Chitlang. And the main problem there is the young goats, they die within a few days after birth. And they think the main problem might be low nutrition in milk. So what do you think of that problem in Chitlang?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the question. Actually, in Chitlang, the mortality in the kids is not because of the low nutrition in the milk. When you take the milk, the nutrition don't go up and down with the environment. But that is mainly because of the management they are considering there, and the in winter, especially in winter, that place is very cold. That is the one of the reasons, and it is too early to say that it's because of inbreeding, but actually the management, the breeding plans, and it's not that much well designed there. So that is another, maybe in the future very soon, that is another problem that we have to consider. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any further question? Yes, after one more.
Thank you.
Yeah, I expect many questions because it's a different.
No, thanks for the nice talk. Just one thing. It's clear that the main problem is identification of breeds. So do you have data sets of images of different breeds along with the features that differentiate them? Like in addition to the visual features, other features? Because if you have those data sets and you could share them with us, we have teams who could apply deep learning models or maybe developing a classification based model to differentiate them. Maybe let's say identifying a pure York versus a hybrid one. That would be much easier.
Yeah, thank you for that question. Actually, in Nepal, we identified those 26 different breeds. Yeah, those are well identified characteristical, with the phenotypic characteristics, even the production, and also we are now working in the molecular level. So yeah, we have that, but the molecular level, we are not going, still not in the stage to go to the genomic level. But we are using the small like mitochondrial DNA or SSR or something like that, but not in that way. But in sheep, we have done the genomic. Actually, my PhD actually in genomics. So in sheep, we have done quite a bit of work. Thank you. So yeah, I can join to that team. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nina. Okay, I still have to use this. Sorry. We okay, because of the too many questions, then the last speaker might extend a little bit, so you might have late for lunch. But I'm sure that there's a lot of food for you left over. Okay. The next speaker is Shinji Hattori, and then the Misuru Kamiya for muffin. The activity. So use both. Okay. Use both. You can.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman. My name is Mitsuru Kameya from the Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries Research Center of the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries of Japan. I'd like to make a presentation on the activities of the Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries Research Technology Center, AFRIT, and the update mapping. MAFIN stands for the Research Network of the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, MAF. It is a bit confusing. MAFIN is the name of an international network, not the name of a ministry. No Ministry of Research Network exists in Japan. And my presentation is composed of 4 items shown here. Okay. At first, I'd like to talk about the service of AFRIT. The service of AFRIT is composed of following 4 main items. MAFIN connects about 70 locations of research institutes, including the branch of the National Research Centers. And second, a network service system is a basic network service for research activities with 10,000 users. Most of the users are researchers. And a scientific computing system is a supercomputer system. And the fourth one is network library system. And this is operating Agropedia, integrated database system, as well as operating a branch office of the National Diet Library and reporting information on achievement of domestic agriculture research to FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. This slide what I explained in the last slide. And I'd like to add that MAFIN also provides an international line with the Philippines to connect with the International Rice Research Institute, IRRI. This line has been also utilized by the Philippine Research, Education and Government Information Network, PRESINET, of NASASTI. I will explain later again on this matter. And you can also find the interconnection with APAN and SciNet, and so on. This map shows that MAFIN connects about 70 access points of research institutes related to agriculture, forestry, and fisheries, including branch offices to cover all the areas in Japan. Now, I would like to talk about the recent policy of the ministry very briefly. The ministry promotes midway strategy. The real English title is rather long, but in Japanese we say green strategy because midori means green in Japanese. Sustainable food production and efficient food supply chain is indispensable to feed the growing population in the world. And this strategy is established to achieve the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. And this strategy emphasizes the importance of research and development activities for agricultural sector innovation. And the ministry intends to advertise this strategy intensively for international discussion. So we have not only English version, but also French version of the brochures. And this strategy will be comparative to the farm to fork strategy of EU and agriculture innovation agenda of the United States. Midway strategy covers a wide range of matters, including food, environment, and social matters. So I attached this slide just for reference. So please read it later. This slide is also just for reference. As I said, this strategy emphasizes the importance of R&D activities for agriculture sector innovation. And my intention is to explain that MAFIN supports this strategy in implementing research activities. The Asia monsoon region shares many characteristics with Japan, such as high temperature and humidity, rice-based agriculture, and a high percentage of small and medium-scale farmers. From this point of view, many of the agriculture technologies developed in Japan are supposed to be applicable to the Asian monsoon region. The ministry assigned the implementation of the collaborative research project to JIRCAS. JIRCAS is a Japan International Research for Agricultural Sciences. And JIRCAS plays a core role in international collaborative research. And JIRCAS conducts this project under the name of Green Asia. Utilizing the research networks of JIRCAS, we will accelerate the application of scalable agriculture technologies to the region and contribute to the transformation of the food system in the Asia monsoon region. It contributes to achieving SDGs related to sustainable food production, food supply chain, and environmental issues. I attached this slide just to inform that, for example, the Green Asia project is composed of two themes shown in this slide, and the members of the International Scientific Advisory Board are composed of internationally famous researchers, including the director generals of some international research institutes and some executives of national research institutes from Indonesia, Malaysia, China, and Thailand. In detail, please read it later. Now, I would like to introduce briefly some examples of the research activities using advanced AI technology conducted by Japanese researchers. At first, Jirkas conducted a research named We Rise in collaboration with ERI. This project was conducted based on ICT technology using seasonal climate prediction model and real-time weather data coupled with a crop growth model. Field validations and demonstration in Indonesia and the Philippines have shown that We Rise project can be used to determine the optimum sowing period and improve the efficiency of fertilizer application. This allows rice farmers to manage their resources and to improve farming plans. The next example is the automatic counting of plant hoppers that are economically important of rice in East Asia and Southeast Asia. These pests suck the nutrition from plant body and disseminate diseases. In Japan, periodical investigation of the spreading situation of these pests in 3,000 sites of paddy fields every other weeks during the growing period of rice using a rectangular A4-sided plastic survey board coated with a sticky substance. By the existing visual inspection method, as rice plant hoppers individuals are so small, about or less than 5 millimeters, it may take more than 1 hour per survey board by well-trained experts to distinguish 18 categories, for example, 3 species, developmental state, sexes, male or female, and wing forms in adults. However, by using the AI system developed by deep learning, the same counting task can be completed within 1 minute just for counting and 3 or 4 minutes, including the process of imaging the survey board. Thus, this AI system can greatly reduce labor costs and speed up the surveys of rice plant hoppers with uniform accuracy, which will be useful for accurate prediction of crop damage due to pests and their control. And the next example is the forestry research by the Forestry and Forest Products Research Institute, FFPRI. Forest research covers a wide range of items closely related to our life and environment. Muffin system is utilized for data exchange among the headquarters and 10 branches of FFPRI for research activities. Supercomputer service of AFRIT is utilized, for example, for the simulation related to climate change and natural disaster prediction, as well as the development of gene database of forest trees. This is the project of ocean assimilation model to predict the ocean states around Japan by Japan Fisheries Research and Education Agency, FRA. Output data of this project includes current velocity, temperature, salinity, sea surface height, and so on, and they are updated weekly, including the prediction up to 2 months ahead. This tool is useful for fisheries because the ocean states affect the behavior of fish. This project is implemented by the Niigata branch of FRA, and Muffin is utilized for data exchange among 15 access sites of FRA of all over the Japan, and supercomputer in Tsukuba is used for data analysis. I introduced some research project examples using advanced ITC technology because a global research network is indispensable to promote research activities. Muffin is grateful to the support and coordination from APAN and other related organizations. Now, I'd like to talk about the upgrade of the link connecting to the Philippines. Muffin has been operating Muffin PH link jointly with Dosti Asti. This link has been also utilized by President. This link was upgraded in January 2022 from 1 Gbps to 10 Gbps. And another update is the MOU between Arena Park and DOT, the Department of Science and Technology Institute, signed in November. To mention that they would link President to a global NREN hub located in Guam in order to connect the country to the Arena Park. We welcome this MOU because it will work as the backup of the existing Muffin PH link and contribute to highly resilient, high-speed network service for science and education community. And discussion on the detailed technical matters for operation of these lines is underway among the related parties, including Muffin. Now, I would also like to talk about the agreement on the collaboration among Muffin, NICT, NII, and WIDE. And this will promote smooth and effective traffic exchange among networks to contribute to Japan's research, development, and education networks. Shinji was established following this agreement. Shinji is the abbreviation of the Coalition for Interoperable Network of Japan and International. And you can find for the representatives of the four organizations, and you can also Dr. Shinji Shimojo smiling on this picture. And I'd like to introduce another Shinji, Mr. Shinji Hattori. Over there is my boss. At the conclusion of this presentation, I'd like to mention the following message. Sustainable food production and efficient food supply chain is indispensable to feed the growing population in the world. The ministry promotes a Midori strategy to achieve SDGs. And JIRCAS implement the Green Asia project to build a system for international collaboration and disseminating information. And AFRIT and Muffin contribute to implementing this strategy. And Muffin will also continue to exchange research data of institutes in European and North American countries by collaborating with Arena Park, SciNet, and so on. And global research networking is indispensable to promote research activities, and Muffin is grateful to the support and coordination from APAN and other related organizations. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Kamiya-san. Any question from the floor? Yes, please.
Thank you very much. And I used to be being supported by Muffin till I left NARO about 12 years ago. But now I'm very glad that still Muffin is advancing regarding international collaboration. I'm very glad. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.